Good evening and welcome to Cellular News at 9. My name is River.
And my name is Sean. Our breaking news story of tonight is the nucleus is leaving office.
That's right, the nucleus has had a long and prosperous career and has announced that he is stepping down from office later this week. In the midst of the chaos, many organelles have risen to the occasion to run for office, including the cell membrane.
Earlier today, Chase Newmeyer, representing the cell membrane, gave the campaign speech.
Ribosomes, chloroplasts, endomembrane system, mitochondria, fellow students. We observe today not a debate of parties, but a celebration of change, symbolizing an end as well as a beginning, signifying renewal as well as transformation. For we have sworn before you the same solemn oath our forebear prescribed before us, to protect and maintain the cell. Let every nation know, whether it wishes us well or ill, that we shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe, to assure the survival and success of the cell. This much we pledge, and more. To those who claim we let in viruses, we say this: not a single organelle can be accurate 100% of the time, and without the cell membrane, the cell would be susceptible to hundreds of more viruses. Furthermore, without the cell membrane to hold everything in place, there wouldn't be a cell to begin with. To those who believe that food is more important than the fibers that hold the very cell together, we say once more, without the cell membrane, there would be no cell and there would be no purpose for the food. To those that assume a plant cell could survive with just a cell wall, they have forgotten about animal cells, and we pledge to you that the cell membrane will never desert a cell. To those who consider oxygen to be the greatest byproduct of a cellular process, our opposition is this: oxygen is only useful to organisms, which are made of cells, and those cells wouldn't exist if the cell membrane wasn't there to hold it together. And finally, to those who believe the plasma membrane could be dangerous if it is found faulty, the key word is if. Today we pledge to you a sincere oath that the lipid bilayer and membrane proteins will always allow passage for nutrients, block out dangerous materials, provide a means of communication between cells, and always hold the cell together. And so, my fellow students, ask not what your cell can do for you, but what you can do for your cell. My fellow students of Mount Pleasant, ask not what the cell will do for you, but what together we can do for the security and survival of the cell. Finally, whether you are an organelle or a student, ask of us here the same high standards of strength and sacrifice which we ask of you. With a good conscience, our only sure reward, with history the final judge of our deeds, let us go forth to vote for the organelle that can surely fulfill the job. Vote cell membrane, holding things together since day one.
The cell membrane sounds pretty promising. Let us know what you think of the cell membrane for office using the hashtag #VoteCellMembrane on Twitter.
For some reason, I feel like I've heard a speech similar to that one before.
Emily is on site with Chase to ask a few questions. We can now go to Emily.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Earlier today in your speech, you mentioned that some groups think that food is the most important. Who was that?
That was the chloroplast group. They are one of our main competitors in this election, but it is important that we vote for the most important organelle. And that, from my standpoint, is the cell membrane. If you think about it, without the cell membrane, there is nothing holding the cell together. It would be equivalent to you without any skin.
That's not pleasant.
No, it's not.
So you also mentioned that the cell organelles can't always be accurate 100% of the time. How do we know that we're going to be safe?
The cell membrane blocks most of the viruses. However, there are a couple strays that do get in, but it is the first line of defense, and even though it is the first line of defense, it does block most of the viruses and bacteria. As the cell membrane representative, I have full confidence in the organelles within the cell to take care of those viruses and bacteria that do slip in. But like I said, the cell membrane does block most of the viruses and bacteria.
That's good to know. Thank you so much for your
No
time.
problem. No problem at all.
Thanks, Emily, and be sure to consider the cell membrane as a candidate for the most important cell organelle.
That's it for tonight's broadcast of Cellular News at 9. Good night.
I'm Michaela Cook and I approve this message.
Today we pledge to you a sincere oath that the lipid bilayer and membrane product protein start over. 3,
Hold on.
3, 2, 1. No, whether it wishes us ill or well. Let's restart. Right at the beginning. 2. They're looking at us. 1.
Thanks, Emily. I can't do it.
Who was looking at you?
No, I just realized that we've been doing all this dumb stuff and like people can see.
Yeah.